Chapter 17 of the original autobiographical novel 10 Years of Marriage by Su Qing, a female writer in the Republic of China. A thrilling scene. It's a new autumn night, right? I've changed into my pajamas and got ready to go to bed. Suddenly I received a call. Is it Miss Su? I dare not ask who you are. My surname is Hugh Hat. Yes, me surname is Hi. No, I have a bad memory, often can't remember recent things. It must be very offensive. So I had to ask Mr. He vaguely. What's the matter? Miss Su, would you like to come out and play at this moment? Oh, it's already getting late. Let's talk about it another day. Have a small child to take care of, can't you decide? Yes. I'm going to sleep. About 3 or 5 minutes past, Seti heard a knock on the door. I thought Zhao Ningbo or something was about to come in. Then opened the door. Standing outside the door were a man in a yellow uniform and a slender young man in a light gray suit. Miss Su, the man in uniform said, and wanted to step through the door. I hurriedly blocked the road. Wait a minute. So I took off my pajamas, changed into a chians, minvit them to come in and sit down again. Miss Su, the man in uniform spoke. I Smilinji heard that, you know. Prime Minister Kimiawi, do you ask these? Don't think I need to answer you. Hat's your surname? Surname hi's this Mr. He who called just now. Yes, Ma invites you to talk. Which Mr. Motto? I know him. It's too late, I can't go out. I'm so sorry at this time. The man wearing a light gray suit said this is not a matter of sorry or not. Miss Su, we are here on orders. What order? Do you have official documents with you? I asked. Standing smiled and said, you don't know me. I still know you, Miss Su. Don't you remember your friend Miss Bai? I met you often 5 years ago. My surname is Sunanli. Then did I know that he was Sunjui college student in Shanghai desperately pursuing Miss Bai? All laughed at him. Treat him like a little brother. No, he has become such a lanky young man wearing a light gray suit. Very Chi would like to ask where Mr. Sun is working now? He replied that we were in a certain bureau. Ma is our boss, please come with us as he spoke. He lifted up his shirt. Show the pistol on your waist. Son, are you here to arrest me? What crime have I committed? The man named. He stood if he came over and held my hand and said it doesn't matter, don't be afraid, just come with us on seal, send you back that night. We love women the most. He know something bad has happened. Disobedience is not good. He had to tell them to let me change my clothes. The man named. He smiled and said already very beautiful hat. Should I change? I ignored him. He grabbed some clothes and ran to the bathroom. While holding on to the old mother, he said these two are not good people. I have no choice but to go with them. Noah, if you haven't come back by dawn, he have no reliable relatives or friends. Yuan has no choice but to return it to his father. The old mother is anxious and doesn't understand. He don't have time to say it. Againi have to simply ask her to watch over Yuan. I just ran away with them. They took me to the black plate car. There's no one else inside. We sit inside. We will arrive at our destination soon. He followed them through the door again. Many armed men stand in. G only heard he's surnamed commanding a soldier. Report to Mr. Mazade. Miss Su has arrived soon. I was invited upstairs. It looks like an ordinary officium. Middle-aged man with a swollen head and rat eyes is sitting on it. He asked me to sit across from him. That's when the interrogation started. Do you know Jin Shiking? Yes. How much money did he give you? No. So where did you get the money to print the book? He asked plausibly. Would I have it myself? I asked him something back, but people say you have a relationship with him. What's the relationship? I'll ask him again. Don't worry about this. He'll ask you again. Now, did he really never give you money? Really not. Do you have any evidence? He couldn't answer at the moment. Change the question again. How did you meet him at an accidental banquet? Were you his secretary? Noth problem comes to an end. He started praising my writing. She said that the director must ask me for help when handling reports in the future. Then I asked if your articles are all about women's families. I said it is also related to social life. Have you ever attended the Asian Literary Association? I said no. The last time they invited me was rejected. I suddenly felt like I was pretending to be a patriot. Then I added that I don't like to attend any gatherings. Meaning in the future, even if some European and American friendly countries invite me to participate, I don't like to attend either. So who are those people present? I said I don't want to tell you, but you can check the very detailed records in newspapers at that time. The conversation suddenly stopped. Againi want to get up and say goodbye. He asked me to sit down again. On the other hand, he asked Lu Sichin if he knew her. Yes. Do you know Penzimai? Yes. No. There is an order from above to find these two people. Could you please give me some help? What can you do to help? Because none of them have telephones at home. I don't know if they are at home at the moment. Now I want to ask you to go with us here at their home. Go up to them first. If you are not at home, just don't mention anything. If they were at home, just ask them to come downstairs. See a word, it won't be your business from now on. Can't do this way because I don't want to betray my friends. You also admit that they are friends, just not considered friends. Can't do this either because of this. Will never have the face to go out to meet people again. What a jockey, are you still covering them? Say whatever you want. He saw that I firmly refused to agree. Just ask he to take me down. Tell me to think about it carefully. Took me into a small room, make fun of in every possible way. Think your article is quite good. It's a pity that what he taught is inhumane. So I suffered a loss. Hodai said, Mr. Hai live in occupied Ariwi. Didn't I have the chance to meet a good person like you in the past? He seemed very happy to hear it. Said, we can be friends from now on. He will definitely try to help you. He begged him to let me go home quickly. He said he could go up and ask for me. After a while he came down again. It said that Mr. Ma was originally unwilling to let you go. Because I guarantee you again and again say you are a woman, absolutely no suspicion. Finally sees my face. I agreed. But now we are looking for 2 people from Lupani. Already told you about it just now. You won't pass on the news to them after you go out, right? Therefore, Mr. Ma asked me to take you out temporarily until they get here. Let you be free. Agarini was shocked when I heard this. Lucichin is a loyal and kind person. Why should we suffer such a bad fate? So I begged he again if he could save him. Mr. He, I will definitely do my best to repay you. I said to him sincerely, but he listened, just a shrug expressing powerlessness. Tell me to hurry up. Go out with him, he said. Where else should I go? If you are afraid of leaking the news, it would be the same even if I were left here. He said it was an order from above when going out. He took me to see Mr. Ma again. Ma gently said to me that we decided to do you a favor today. Don't talk nonsense after you get out. I'm so happy. Do you think I can regain my freedom now? He said. Well, please go out with Mr. He first. Talk to you later. My heart sank again. Explain if you want to talk. Please do it now. He said. No, you have to wait until Lucichin, Panzimai and the others arrive before you can let me go. Otherwise, I'm afraid I'll leak the news. What if you can't find them? I asked eagerly. Then I have no choice but to feel aggrieved. How long have you stayed here temporarily? I can give you my wife's rumor, Ma said, with a toothy smile. I had no choice but to follow he out. The car we were riding in was still a black brand car. On the way, someone named, he asked me about Miss Su. Can you dance? I said. Noth. Car drove past the entrance of my alley. I asked him if he could let me in to see the baby and give the maid some word. She said no without thinking. The coffee shop is here tonight. He asked the driver to stop. Let's go in and have a cup of coffee together. He took my hand and Sadie had no choice but to follow down. He talked to me while we were sitting hammers. Prime Minister Kim, you go back and forth with them often? He is skeety. Think he must have been ordered to investigate something. Let's just say I've only met him a few times. I'm not close to them at all. He smiled and said, I can't believe it. Would you live in an apartment like this? We all thought your life must be luxury. She couldn't help but say with a wry smiley, a poor scholar. Ho, can we enjoy houses and cars? Finished coughing, paid the bill. We took the bus again and arrived in front of a big mansion. It is said that this is the residence he recently took over. Please go in and sit for a while. He proudly said to me. Silently followed him and sitteth. There are some armed guards inside. Sit down in the reception room. He also asked the waiter to bring in some snacks. Then the call commute seemed like he was being ordered to go back quickly. I'm monitoring Miss Su. He answered this. The other party gave some more instructions and those he use it together. Put down the phone receiver. He couldn't help but lazily sighed to me. Welmer. Ma asked me to return to the bureau immediately. I'll take you with me at the same time. Elis. The people in the office are really troublesome. When I heard this, I started to panic again. Then I asked why you took me back. He smiled and patted my shoulder and said, don't worry, it's none of your business. Aren't you left here unattended? Only then did I feel at ease and go back to the game with him. He went to see Mr. Ma'alanim still sitting in the small room where I was just no soon he came in and called me to leave. I asked him where he was going, said, it's none of your business, just follow me with peace of mind. This time I got into a car with him. There is a big car ahead. There seemed to be armed soldiers. Scarati checked carefully along the way, getting closer and closer. He, isn't this Lucichin's home? I couldn't help shouting hysterically. Are you going to ask me to trick him into going downstairs again? No, well, never. He comforted me gently and said, nothing, don't need you, just wait outside. Wait, are you making me wait outside? I asked anxiously. I wonder what kind of trick they are using to seduce Lucichin. But why are you making me wait outside? The car stopped at the front door of Lu Sichen's house. Dilapidated fence, a desolate meadowy. Saw them all go in, and a soldier came over, watched me outside the car. After a while, the lights upstairs came on. They have found Lu Sichuni was so anxious in the car that I almost cried. Suppose Lu Sichen is not at home. I have to take them back to the bureau again. What if he were at home? I don't know that I should be happy. Should still be sods. Back in the car, Againi was shaking and asked him if he was at home. The man named. He smiled and said, already slept. Wake us up. He has a very peaceful attitude. This is the real Lu Sichen is always peace of Falcom. And Generusi asked again, don't it matter to him? Ha ha ha. Hey, the man named. He laughed cruelly. There probably won't be any capital punishment, but at least 10 years in prison. 10 years later he came out. Aren't you already old too? Make up your mind early. After hearing this, I wanted to slap him on the ear. But this is cinematic action. In the real world there is no one who is not greedy for life and afraid of death. So I had to listen to him laugh at me in every possible way. There are also many unsavory words and humiliating action. She took out a pistol from his waist and asked me, will you use this guy? I shook my head and said no. He smiled, smiling proudly. Soon the car stopped again. It turned out that we had arrived at Panzimai's house. I lower my head and don't want to look around anymore. There is unspeakable sadness in my heart. Panzimai was also found. He came back and told me I couldn't help but said to him harshly, your contribution is very big this time, right? He nodded without guilty. Just feel dizzy like I'm going to be sick. You won't faint in the car, right? You and you won't happen to everything in my home? Hey, even if you die, you have to die in your own home. I can't fall into their hands. So you want to regain my freedom. Even if you commit suicide, you have to find a chance to be free first. So I softened and asked for help. Contains infinite hatred. Just want to restore your own freedom. But he said he would go back and ask Mr. Ma for instructions. I said, didn't Mr. Ma just agree to help? He said there was still a matter of formalities. I couldn't help but hold on to the backrest of the car bed and cried. He comforted me and said, don't panic, will always find a way for you. I only have one thing to say. I want to go home. Didn't you just tell me? Are you detaining me just because you're afraid I'm going to leak the news? Now they have all been found. Are you still unwilling to let me go home? Don't say too much. What I want to say, if you still don't let me go home, I have to say everything. He might as well have pondered for a while. I'll take you home for now. But I still called Mr. Ma at your house for instructions. If Mr. Ma agrees you can regain your freedom. He couldn't help but thank him again and again. On the phone he seemed to plead a lot for me later. The other party seemed to agree. He hangs up the phone. He turned to me happily and said, yes, Ma. Finally O'Grady shed tears of joy. Thought I should thank he. Me just sobbed and couldn't form a sentence. He patted my shoulder gently and said, Miss Sue, how should you repay me? The stars are shining sadly in the sky. Alright, this part of the story ends here.
Want to know what happened next? Let's listen to the breakdown next time.